Hello everyone and welcome back to Forever United TV and your Monday morning update. 8 o'clock, the day after Manchester United miserably dropped another 3 points at West Ham. These morning shows we usually bring you all of the news and all the excitement leading into another what will be busy week for Manchester United with the game on Friday against Chelsea. But it is all downbeat and it is all a little bit negative around Manchester United at the moment. But you would have noticed last night, first of all, to get things going, and I want your comments in on this, please, everybody, straight away. I didn't go live last night. The fan completely took over me. Now, could have done a show last night. There could have been thousands of people watching. It was yesterday. I don't think I felt as downbeat and as defeated as that all season. And this season has been horrendous. Like, everybody knows that this season for Manchester United has been a complete sham. It's been a shambles. It really has. From top to bottom, from off the pitch, on the pitch, everything that's been done, it's just chaotic for Manchester United. And yesterday, I went into that game. I seen the team. I was upbeat. I was thinking, strongest team. West Ham, been battered by everybody. They couldn't even beat Southampton. I mean, come on. Worst team in Premier League history. At home, their record at Old Trafford is shocking. You all seen my reaction yesterday. I don't think I needed to say any more than what I did after the game yesterday, and I left it there. And apologies if anyone was waiting last night for another live show, because we always go live on a Sunday evening. We go live every single evening, but last night I had to let everything settle. I had to take in what Ruben Amorim said. I had to listen to other fans. I listened to other people. I got other opinions, and I read through everything. I read through some of Bruno's comments. I read through some of Amorim's comments. But what I did do, and what I wanted to do and start with this morning, was go through what Ruben Amorim said and how much it really hit home last night in what Ruben Amorim said in that press conference. And I watched it about 5 times. And I've got the clips here. I've chopped it up into sections here. And I want to talk about on the show this morning exactly where I'm worried and why Manchester United fans will be worried about what they're listening to here with Ruben Amorim. So what I'm going to do to start the show, before we get into the comment section and get your thoughts on this, is I'm going to go through these clips. I'm going to play them out so you know exactly where I'm at and what I'm talking about. And this is Ruben Amorim after the game yesterday. And I'm going to break down all of these points after he said everything. I've put them all together. So here, first of all, is Ruben Amorim and what he said after the game yesterday, and then we'll go through it ourselves.
We had lack of pace. We have to do so much better, and for me the biggest concern is that feeling that is okay, and we cannot change our position so much, so it's okay. And that is the biggest problem in our club in this moment, because we are losing the feeling of we are a massive club and it is the end of the world to lose a game at home. So I think that is the biggest concern in our club.
As the manager of this football club, how do you feel when you look at that league table and see your team in 16th place?
I think I was supposed to feel a manager of Manchester United in that position, embarrassed. And his heart was set, and I think everybody has to think seriously about a lot of things here. We have bigger things to think, and we have to change a lot of things in the end of the season.
Is there a culture issue still among the players?
I think it's not is a feeling. It's a feeling that is the most dangerous feeling that we have in the big club.
Looks like players are picking and choosing which games to play.
It's hard to explain that, and we need that feeling. I have that feeling that there is that lack of urgency in everything we do. So it's a big concern. Here I'm the biggest responsible for that. So we need to change a lot of things during the summer. We need to be really strong in the summer and to be brave, because we will not have a next season like this if we start like this, or if the feeling is still here. We should give the space to different persons.
Sometimes it's the way that he says things. It's the way that a person is talking that worries you more than what he actually says. Now, you could obviously say, look, what do you expect? He's come off the back of another defeat at home. I think yesterday, listening to Ruben Amorim there, we'll go through the points now, but just the way that he delivered that yesterday, that press conference. I remember seeing a tweet go out from Simon Stone, who was in that press conference, and Simon Peach in particular more, actually, as well, is saying that's the angriest I've ever seen Ruben Amorim in a press conference. it feels like he no matter what he does, this is just a sense of what I get from the tone of Ruben Amorim. It was like he'd done everything he possibly could with this group of players. He'd done absolutely everything he could, and he just cannot figure out why this team is just failing constantly. I mean, just to go from the top of that there, the worst one probably is right in what he says. We've lost that feeling. It doesn't matter where we are in the league. The league doesn't matter. That feeling is probably the worst one. And his comments on that there, like we've forgotten what it feels like to feel so downbeat and so miserable after losing a game. It's like it doesn't matter. It's like you've done one thing and then it's because you've done good once, it's all right if you can just let off again the next game. It's like it just doesn't. Why is the Premier League not important? And the next bit, I mean, when asked about what he thinks when he looks at that league table, when you look at the league table and you see Manchester United are in 16th, embarrassed to be there. Of course, you're going to be embarrassed. And he's saying that everybody at Manchester United has got a lot of concern. There's a lot of concerns for everybody at United. I mean, there's people that are concerned within his staff, or is there people in what he's saying there that should be concerned going into the summer? We need big changes in the summer. He said that several times in the press conference there, Ruben Amorim. I mean, when you look at it, when players like Simon Stone asked the question, it looks like these players are picking and choosing which games they want to turn up for. And he actually said he cannot answer that question. That was probably the bit there that hit me the most. And he says, I don't know how to answer that question. It's like he's at a loss. He's at a loss. Like, how can this group of players be on it 1 minute when there's something to play for and then not the next minute? It's like the Premier League does not matter anymore. It doesn't matter where you finish in the league because you've got the Europa League and we can get away with it because we'll turn up and everyone will be happy. It really is hitting hard now, and I think a lot of United fans should be concerned with this. We need to make changes in the summer. We need to be brave. That was another bit that he picked up on there. He needs to be brave, and this is what I've been banging on about forever and a day, and this is the one bit that gave me a little bit of encouragement before the end bit, which really worries me. The one bit that gave me encouragement was when he said we need to be brave in the summer. Now that, I think, is in getting rid of players. He's like, honestly, like these players can do good 1 week and everybody can get excited about it. Remember what Kaz was saying in her fan vlog yesterday after the game? It's like all of a sudden, because these players have done good in one game, oh, they're all right, look back at that game and look what they did. This is what they can do. Fans will wait 7 or 8 games for this player to turn up and say, see, I told you, this is what he can do. Well, what about the bastard 7 other games before that 8th game when he did absolutely nothing? That's why you are where you are in the league. Turning up for one game is a cup mentality team. And I think this is where Ruben Amorim is actually going with this. You have to be brave in the summer. These players are not good enough. If he is going to work, you have to be brave and trust in his system and trust in what he wants from a player and what he wants to do. We lack the intensity going for the second balls. We lacked intensity in defending. In them moments which were few and far between, he said, when West Ham were attacking us, we lack the intensity to defend. It's like the willingness to defend and fight for every single ball. If you haven't got that, you're going to be bowled over by every single team that comes. That's West Ham United who have done the double over us this season. Like Wolves and West Ham have done the double over Manchester United. I draw. That alone sends shivers down anybody's spine. They are one of the worst teams in the league. They really are. Tottenham, Wolves, West Ham, all of these teams in and around us have all done a double over Manchester United. That's scary. That is really, really scary for a Manchester United fan to take. And at the end of that clip there, the last bit, the most concerning bit for me, we have to make them changes. We have to be brave because if we go into next season and we start like this and this feeling and this culture and everything is still there the same, then you might as well give the jobs to other persons. You might as well give his job to somebody else. That concerns me because this is what I have been saying, but not from Ruben's side because I didn't think he would give up. But it was a little bit of defeatist attitude there from Ruben. Unless this club is brave in the summer, he's gone. That's how I'm reading that. Now, you can say I'm being a little bit extremist there with that, and I'm really saying, building that up a little bit more than what it actually is. But as a United fan, that's how I read the situation at the moment, because if changes aren't made, and I've been banging on about this forever and a day, and you all know it, I've been going on constantly about this. If United do not make the drastic changes necessary, we will be back where we are now, and Ruben will have lost his job. I said before Christmas next season, Ruben Amorim will be gone. if nothing is done in the summer. And he said in that press conference there, after watching Manchester United's 17th defeat this season in the league, 17, then he's not going to be in the job. You might as well give it to somebody else. If we start off that way next season, then there's no point in being there. Ralph Rangnick, what was it, only a couple of weeks ago, was saying again, when asked about Manchester United, I was like, 2 years on, nothing has changed. They're still doing exactly the same things. I said what they needed to do, and they're doing exactly the same things. They've spent another 700 million quid, and they've got worse. He was right. The culture and everything at Manchester United, this soft soaping of players. And yeah, I don't like what some of the things that Ineos have done, but honestly, some of this hard-handed stuff and this real brutal stuff that they're doing right now, I feel if it was another owner that came in and the Glazers weren't there, everybody would be on board with this. That's just how I feel, because this is the necessary. I'm not saying the Glazers and Ineos are necessary at Manchester United, and this is the way that United is going to change. What I am saying is drastic, major open-heart surgery, like Ralph Rangnick said, needs to happen. It needs to happen now at Manchester United. Otherwise, we are just going to keep on sinking. And like Ruben said there, he will be the next one without a job next season. Because if he starts off like this, and we're playing the same football going into the Premier League next season, then Ruben is gone. Ruben is finished. And that, I think, is the most... that's the key part in that whole press conference for me there. Right at the end of it, when he says that, that for me is killer. And yesterday, just to go back quickly, I'm going to come to the comment section now, everybody. Last night, I was like coming home from the game. I was just like, I was lost. I felt like I was in a different world. I felt like I was miles away. I was just like thinking, I'm just like, how? We're looking around at Old Trafford in that game yesterday. We're looking around and you're looking at the person next to you and you're looking at the other fans and they're all just like the acceptance. Why are we accepting that losing is okay? Why do we walk into Old Trafford and think that this is the way it is now? It's like we've been forced into thinking this way by this team. They are a bunch of absolute selfish balls. They're playing for themselves. That's what they're playing for. They're not playing for Ruben Amorim. They're not. They're turning up, and Ruben said it in his press conference there, they're turning up and they're playing in the Europa League when there's something to play for. It's like, we didn't play well. And you know what? He nailed it. And another bit that I didn't clip up in that press conference when he said, we didn't play well against Bilbao. We took advantage of a situation, but the situation also on top of that was that Manchester United were out if we didn't win that game. The league, they just cannot handle. They cannot handle week in, week out. He's actually said in that press conference, it might not be good playing in the Champions League next season. He said that. He's not sure if playing in the Champions League next season is probably good for this team. Maybe we need to just learn week in, week out how to play in the Premier League. Them words came out of Ruben Amorim's mouth yesterday. He's not bothered about the final. The final in the Europa League is minimal. It is the least worrying part of what's going on at Manchester United right now. He said that. Now that is scary. When he's not worried about the final, he's not worried about being in the Champions League next season, is basically what he's saying. He wants to win it, and it's going to help us, obviously, but he sees a bigger problem at Manchester United. Them words there that came out of Ruben Amorim's mouth were that this could be papering over the cracks again for Manchester United next season. If we're in the Champions League and we win a trophy this season, it's just a big cover-up. That's what I take from that press conference there. Every single part of it scared the living shit out of me, because I know that there's a chance here right now that there's another manager going to be on his way come the start of next season. Unless, like he said, you are brave and you get rid of these players in the summer. Now, that could be any one of these players in Manchester United's squad. They're the obvious, and there are very, very few of them. But don't bottle it. Don't go into your shell again and think that these players, because we have won the Europa League, if we do win it, and we'll all be celebrating, and I keep saying this, and the good thing, the only thing that you could take in this is a positive, is that Manchester United, right now, the Premier League is still showing us exactly where this team is, where Manchester United are. They're showing us that we are not good enough. We have got through a Europa League campaign and done really well in Europe because, like Ruben said, in that moment, at that point, Manchester United felt like they had to find a way to win. That intensity is lost in the Premier League. We need to start learning how to play week in, week out football again. And we need to learn how to be a big club. We've forgotten how to be a massive club. It's like what he said. It's like losing a game is okay now. It's not the end of the world if Manchester United lose a game. It should be the depths of despair if United lose at home to West Ham, to Bournemouth, to Crystal Palace, to Wolves. Do I have to go on with the list? 17 defeats. When is it going to sink in? And he has basically come out into the media and said that I will lose my job unless these players are gone. I don't care if anybody else tries to try and spin what I'm saying there or say that I'm trying to make this sound worse than what it already is. It's not. If we lose that Europa League final, then Ruben Amorim's money is down. The recruitment team has to sell at least half of this squad to fund a rebuild for Ruben Amorim and make the necessary changes in this squad. Stop clinging on to hope that this player will come good. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. We are falling further and further behind because these players are being given chance after chance after chance. Last night, I'm seeing substitutes between Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof. Christ, tonight. Like, we're going way back when there to Louis van Gaal days. Forget what Ten Hag did. You're going back to bleeding Jose, Solskjaer, and bleeding Louis van Gaal. What is going on at this football club? It's like, literally, they just look at it week in, week out. And I think Kaz said the best thing is today. Do you think Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada and whoever else on Manchester United's new recruitment team structure, whatever it is, management team, sat in them seats yesterday there at Old Trafford are watching this and thinking that this team can carry on the way it is? It is dead. And they'll turn up for themselves in a cup final. Honestly, watching that yesterday, it just brought it all home and reminded us of how shit we really are. And I said that in my post-match video yesterday, and I couldn't hide away from how I was feeling at all, and I can't now. I can feel the rate as soon as I start talking about these players, and I'm trying my best, honestly, to not bring out individual players again. I sort of left that for the fan vlog yesterday. I don't want to start picking up on individual one or two players here and there. We all know who they are. We all know that these players are just simply not good enough at Manchester United. And as a team, as a collective, they're playing for themselves. There was a moment in that game yesterday in the first half where Rasmus Højlund hit a shot from like 25 yards. He turned on it, left-footed, impossible shot, was never going to score. It just showed you, to me, that he's so desperate to try and make things right for himself. He's just not playing for the team. There was a moment in that game, and someone tweeted it, when Luke Shaw absolutely slaughtered Rasmus Højlund, shouted at him. Bruno Fernandes did the same. The decision-making in this team right now is all for themselves. They're all worried about what is going to happen to them, what criticism's coming their way. They're playing scared. They are absolutely scared, this team, and they don't want to be the headline maker, the stat maker that's got all of the wrong stats and all of the XG and all of the passing accuracy and everything like that. How many times he gives the ball away, how many mistakes are made. They're just looking at themselves. That's how they're playing as well. I'm not going to be the one that tries to play that killer pass because it's going to go down against me. I'm going to get the boos and the jeers off the fans. The only reason there was no boos yesterday, there probably was a few actually, to be honest, but not in massive numbers, because we made a final. And we'd just come off the back of a great week. I said it yesterday in my fan vlog. If you didn't see it yesterday, I'll just repeat what I said now. But go and watch it back, because that's the raw emotion straight out of Old Trafford outside the stadium. But I said it in the live show before the game yesterday, Manchester United have not won a league game at Old Trafford since Ipswich, which was February. We're in May, the end of the season. United have not won a game in the league since Leicester. We're now 7 games down the line from that Leicester game. And Manchester United haven't won. We're not going to beat Chelsea. There's 8. We're not going to beat Aston Villa. There's 9. Them teams have got more to play for. And they will beat us. Because if West Ham are beating us and Wolves are beating us, then them teams who are playing for Champions League and really fighting for something are going to absolutely smash the hell out of us. So United are on the brink of going through the end of a Premier League season without a win in the last 9 games. This has to be the longest run without a win for Manchester United in our history in the Premier League as well. And to top all that off, in them 7 games that we've played, 4 of them at home, Manchester United haven't won in the last 4 at home since Ipswich, and we've managed to score 1 goal in that time. I'll go through the games with you, because that 1 goal was a Bruno Fernandes free kick against Arsenal. Yes, that's the last time United actually registered a freaking goal at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes. We didn't score against City, we didn't score against Wolves, and we didn't score against West Ham. There you go. Let's get into the chat on this one as well. Sorry about the raw emotion. In fact, no, I'm not sorry. It is what it is, isn't it? Like, this is what this channel is all about. We just say it as it is. Heart on sleeve moment. United Till I Die, welcome to the members club. Manny with a super chat says, Adam, I hope you're not too disappointed. Here's a few Bob beers on me. I think I might have one again later on, mate. Thanks for that, Manny. Ant says, when a manager who's been here 5 fecking minutes wants to win more than our players, it tells you everything. Elite mentality versus wage thieves. Oof, strong one there from Ant. Another super chat in. Mega one from Manny. Thank you, mate. The open heart surgery isn't just the players and managers. Ralph was referring to the sickness in the boardroom. I fear that no manager or player can make a difference if the boardroom isn't swept clean. Look, the boardroom has been swept clean already, Manny. It's gone. It's finished. Everyone who was there failing Manchester United has been sacked and let go. It has been cleared, mate. The judgment comes this summer. The judgment on everyone. And everyone knows I've been right down the middle and I've been fair as you can be. And some people have criticised me for being fair on Ineos at certain points, saying I'm an Ineos fanboy and everything like that. I take it all in. I understand why you're angry. You're just not having anyone at Manchester United unless this club is completely sold and the debt's clear. That's fine. And that argument is valid. But what I have done is been straight down the middle, like I said. I've been very fair. I've been unbiased. I've been balanced. I've looked at both sides. I've criticised Ineos. I've praised Ineos. I've gone into the management and the structure and said it's better at Manchester United. It is. It's a lot better than what it was. But the judgment comes year on year. And now we're 1 year in. We've had 2 transfer windows with Ineos. And I think the signings have been all right. But this summer, after watching this season, if you're not brave enough, like Ruben said, then Ineos will be at fault for Ruben coming in at the wrong time, keeping Ten Hag, and then sacking Ruben Amorim, because if this stays the way it is, he will be gone next season. And that is fully down on Ineos and ballsing this up. And then you will see criticism coming from me, and you'll see harsh criticism. But I'll bring it down onto them when it's fair, I feel. And I want to give them the chance this summer. So unless massive changes are made this summer, then we are going to be sat here doing a show like this where I'm actually gutted that Ruben Amorim has been let go or walked out the door even, because that is how I'm looking at this. Ruben Amorim will walk away as well. I think that is definitely in there with him. If he cannot get back to what is the point of someone or a club absolutely tarnishing his resume and making him look like he is completely inept in management, because that's what Manchester United will do. They are a career-killing football club, and we've seen it with many managers now. Now, you could argue the points of some managers haven't been good enough, but every single one of them has said the same thing. Like the inconsistencies and getting certain players that they want, that has been a big problem at Manchester United. Now, I think Ten Hag was given the world. I think Ruben Amorim should be given exactly the same this summer to work with his players. But the biggest thing out of all of it, and I don't care what players come in, it's all about the players that need to be out of this football club, the players that need to be sold this summer. It is always going to come down to that. And I'm sorry, there is so many of them on this team right now. Honestly, I don't think there's any player yesterday, I mean, you know what, any player this season, any fan, I've said this many times, there's not one player in Man United that anyone would lose sleep over losing or being sold this summer. There really isn't. Let's get a few comments in now from everybody else as well. I know there's loads of them coming in. Right, keep piling in with your comments, please, everybody. Carl says, we haven't won 2 games in a row under Amorim. We haven't won 2 games in a row all season, mate. Never mind Amorim. It's been a full season where Manchester United have not managed to win back-to-back games in the league, which is absolutely criminal. It's relegation form. 2 games to go and Manchester United haven't hit the 40-point mark. We literally, like I've just said, and take this in and listen to what I'm saying right now, to break it down and put it in perspective of how shit this football team is we are on 39 points right now, and I've just said we will lose to Chelsea, we will lose to Aston Villa. They're the only 2 games left. United might not even make 40 points this season. And we could end up with 19 defeats. It's relegation form. We are going to finish 17th above absolute shit championship sides. We are the worst team in the Premier League, because I said it yesterday. Forget about Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester. Diabolically poor and they're horrible teams. They're the only teams, and by the way, they're the last 2 wins that we had. Leicester and Ipswich. God, it tells you everything, doesn't it? We can't beat anyone unless they're in the relegation zone. That's scary, scary times ahead. That is really scary for Manchester United. But if we finish on 39 points, the minus goal difference that we're on right now, oh my, I hate talking like this. I really do. I hate the fact that Manchester United are where we are right now, but we have to own up and accept that this is this football club. If the club doesn't spend 350 million in the summer window, then the manager won't be able to turn things around next season. With all the sales that we can make, we can spend that money. It has to be reinvested back into the team. Bruno took a shot from 40 metres also yesterday. Why is that not mentioned? Because let's be honest, Radu, Bruno Fernandes was the last person to score a goal at Old Trafford, and yeah, that came from 30 yards out in a free kick also, mate. So let's lay off Bruno, who actually has provided what Manchester United need in times this season as well. I'm not going to have a go at Bruno. I'll have a go for him at that moment. But again, I wasn't picking up on Rasmus Højlund having that shot. I was saying that these players are playing for themselves. And Bruno Fernandes yesterday, I thought was atrocious. I'll say it as it is. I thought Bruno was poor, and I said it straight after the game. His worst game he's had in months at Manchester United. I'm not going to back him. I'm just going to tell you what I see. So people who think I've got some kind of agenda against certain players because I've backed, I'm not going to be one of these fans, one of these people that comes on here on my channel, and because I've actually backed that player, I'm not going to back him through thick and thin and defend him when he's obviously been crap. Bruno was shit like everybody else yesterday. But Bruno has actually put up the numbers for Manchester United and performed this season. Others haven't, and they've been getting away with it. I actually feel sorry for Bruno that we're having to criticise him in a crap game that we've lost, because he's actually tried this season. The others, honestly, are just not got the footballing IQ or capabilities or qualities to be a Manchester United player. Simple. We've taken 6 points off you, and not bad for a rubbish football team, eh? A midfield of Rodriguez, Sutek and Ward-Prowse. No striker, and we will still best you or beat you comfortably. Said that all. I think we've got a West Ham fan in there in Alex. Yeah, look, said it yesterday. West Ham, we're in second gear. I'm just walked all over us. They got a great tan doing nothing. They walked around Old Trafford in the sunshine yesterday, West Ham, having the easiest afternoon they've had all season. That's where Manchester United are. It's after yesterday, I think Bruno wants out, says Andrew. I think Bruno was giving up as well. Bruno's comments were quite harsh as well. I think pretty much mirroring what the likes of Roy Keane said. It's just not acceptable. Lindelof should have only been here 18 months, yet 8 years says everything about this club and owners. We are finished, accept the truth. We are finished until they fix it. And until we do start that open heart surgery and stop putting plasters and band-aids over every gaping crack in this football club. Cheers for the super chat, Jeff. Appreciate it, buddy. Then bye-bye, football club. Bye-bye, Manchester United. If finishing 17th and possibly losing to Spurs in the final for the 4th time this season, by the way, Spurs, who have had an absolute shocker of a season, if that doesn't hit home more than anything and tell you that this club is done, then nothing ever will. The only way that Manchester United change, the only way that Manchester United get anywhere near competing where we are, is that surgery in the summer. Every single player showed yesterday that they are not good enough at all. What's next for the Glazers and Manchester United? Their day-to-day roles, quite a bit in this actually. I've just seen a article that Graham told me to watch. I'll look at on The Athletic. I may pick up on that a little bit later on actually. Apparently, a great piece from Laurie Whitwell in The Athletic. regarding the ownership of Manchester United. Yeah, so, just been reminded about that now, actually. But, yeah, Graham was talking about that yesterday, actually, before we went into the game. And, yeah, I think it is quite worrying. After all of these years, where Manchester United are actually at now, that we're only now realising, because of where we are in the league, that these standards are just not good enough at United anymore. Honestly, there is, and this is going to sound really bad right now. There is a part of me that's at the back of my head is actually telling me that it's not right to win this Europa League final. There is a piece of me saying that maybe it's for the greater good that we don't win it. And that's what I felt Ruben was saying yesterday as well. And please don't, I want to win the final. I want to be in the Champions League. I want to have more money to spend on better players. And I know it will help Manchester United going forward. But there is a big part of me that says that they don't deserve it. They're going to get away with it again. And this is all we've done over the last couple of seasons, even more going further back. They've just about kept their head above water. And then we've had to accept that they're not going to move on from there. Do you know what that has all come from? Manchester United losing again yesterday in the Premier League, and it's just the way it makes you feel. It does. It just drains the life out of you watching Manchester United. It really does. Block with a super chat says, I'm close to calling it a day with this team. 450-mile round trip in a car yesterday for a performance like that. Good to see you again, buddy. Block legend, mate. I feel for them travelling fans. Someone came up to me yesterday as well. I can't remember the name of his tag on YouTube, actually, but he came up, one of the subscribers, talking to us after the game yesterday. I think it was Boyo or something like that. I can't remember. I'm really sorry. Someone will remind me, hopefully. But yeah, he was saying it's like come over from Ireland. It's like he's not seen us win in 5 games. You'd expect to have seen one win, wouldn't you? At least in that amount of games. Kyle Bebbs with the super chats says we used to have 6 months to a year for a player. Yeah. Like, prove yourself, prove your worth. 2 years, I think, is the maximum for any player. And if you're not turning it around, if you're not performing, then you're out the bleeding door. It's as simple as that. We used to have standards, Kyle. You're dead right. You are 100% right. Take that 150 million from the Saudi for Bruno. After all, how bad can it get without him? Well, we are 17th near enough if we do lose these last 2 games. Agate literally just fell over yesterday. There was a bit that was picked up by James Ducker of The Telegraph in the press conference yesterday. And Ruben Amorim didn't want to touch on it. But he brought up the point about Manuel Agate and that second goal. There was a point in that game, this is what James Ducker said, where Manuel Agate loses the ball, which can happen, obviously, in games, and then just fell to his knees. And not once while the attack was going on did he get up off his knees. How can you change this around, Ruben? This is what James was saying. How can you change this around and change this mentality when players can pick or choose whether they want to get up and try and fix a problem or fix a mistake that they've made? How can you do that when your players are picking and choosing moments in games to actually stand up and go and fight? And he couldn't answer it. It's a damning question. And Ruben had no reply to it. He just turned it around saying, I'm not going to pick up on individuals. It's a manager problem. And he went on to it like that. But you've got to look at this now and say, like Ruben said there, when Simon Stone asked him the question, like, how are players being able to pick and choose which games that they turn up for? And that for me is probably one of the worst bits. And when you look at Manchester United at home this season and the amount of games that we've actually won, you look at Manchester United overall in the Premier League season, everybody laughing at us, everybody looking at Manchester United and saying, wow, look at this, look how the mighty have fallen. And like our standards are like, even us talking, like picking up on certain players saying that Garnacho's improving. Well done, Rasmus, like I said, to being in the 6-yard box for the couple of goals he scored against Bournemouth and Bilbao the other night. That's it, that's all I've got. They're the only positives. Ahmad coming back. Gutted yesterday when Lenny Yoro went off, but Ruben actually did come out and say it might be a small thing. So fingers crossed that Lenny Yoro is actually all right for the final. But that was just like shit yesterday. That was like compounding all the misery yesterday. It really was. Lee Mack with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. It says, with Ineos, we have gone from top 4 to 16th. They are absolutely clueless. Done a crap job at Nice and being linked with Joe Bellingham and Delap. Oh, my God. Well, to be honest, mate, look what we have brought in over the years that Ineos didn't bring in. Big name players. And they've all failed and still contributed. We haven't gone from top 4 to 16th. Let's not forget. Manchester United finished 8th last season, which was unacceptable anyway, and scraped an FA Cup and got into the Europa League. We're doing exactly the same this season, except they brought in a manager. The fault of Ineos is not getting rid of Ten Hag in the summer and doing everything that Ruben needed in the summer. That's all on Ineos. That's what they did, Lee. And we have fallen. We have got worse under Ineos because the results and the table never lies. It's all there in black and white. And you can look into details and bring up certain circumstances like we have done. Ruben coming in at the wrong time. Ruben not being backed in January. I'm sorry. Manchester United are good enough to beat the likes of Wolves and West Ham at home. We are capable of beating Bournemouth. We are capable of beating Brentford. We are capable of beating Crystal Palace and Brighton. Like, all of these teams, I'm sorry. There's no excuse for what we're dealing with right now, and these players have to also be held accountable for what is going on at this football club right now. They really do. It is shambolic, is the word I would use in how these players are conducting themselves. 40 years of red, and I can't relate to this club anymore. I'm a fighter. I never ever give up. Where is this in our club? Died in the early 2000s. The heart and soul some would say it's already been ripped out of Manchester United. Some will say it's slowly being taken apart bit by bit. And there is positives in Manchester United, the academy and certain players coming through, but it's just going to be absolutely swamped and overwhelmed by the negative at the moment. And the negative is that the first team, the pin-up, the actual first team football at Manchester United, the one that everybody knows Manchester United for, the history of this football club, is the worst it has ever been in the club's history. And I wasn't around for the relegation years. I wasn't born. And a lot of people will say that it was worse then we actually got relegated. I'm sorry. With the money that's been invested, the way that Manchester United have moved forward, where we were, the powerhouse, the advantage over other clubs we've had, this has to be the worst it has ever been. And anybody who was around for the relegation years in the 70s and when we did get relegated, tell me, did you actually see a little bit of character in that team? Or did you see fight in that team? I guarantee you did. Because in this team, we haven't got that fight. We haven't got that mentality. We really don't. And Ruben basically just called them all out. He said it there. He said these players are picking up what games they want to. They're deciding when they want to play. They're not listening to instruction. They can't do, because it's the same thing. Every single manager's coming up against the same problem. Ruben is a good manager, but players are so bad. Super chat from Toxic. Mr. Dacia Sandero says, it's good times. Good times will be back. It's going to take a while. Let's hope it starts by winning the Europa. That is the key. A minimum of 2 years, unfortunately. Jude says, Glazers / Ineos don't care. 75 grand will show up. Will scam last minute wins. Old Trafford will bounce. The stores will be packed with buyers. Gary says, is Amorim unable to manage in the Premiership with whatever reason? After all, look at the form in Europe. Again, he even said that we weren't that great in Europe, though. We just took advantage of Bilbao going down to 10 men. We haven't been great over the 2 legs. Probably right on that. Maybe we did get carried away in the fact that we blew that 2-0 lead and went 2-0 down against 10 men against Lyon and just had to react out of sheer desperation. And we all got carried away by the euphoria of the last-minute goals and everything like that. And we should do. We're fans. But then again, against Bilbao, did we get lucky in that first leg? Everything went our way and made that easier for us. Now we're coming up against our first Premier League opposition in the competition. And we've been beaten by 3 times already this season. Are United going to turn up in a final again and paper over everything that is wrong at this football club? Are these players going to show up for themselves like they always do? That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at right now, and hopefully we can see this final through and salvage something, but it counts for nothing unless that win in the Europa League is invested back into Manchester United, and we can start turning around our bleeding home form. That's what counts right now. We know that United could turn up in that final and win it, but I don't think there is going to be this year, and this is the difference from this year from last season. Last season, I've said it, I was stood on Wembley Way and everyone was jubilant. We'd just beat Manchester City. And I knew at that point, I was scared. I was really excited that United had won the FA Cup, but I was scared shitless that we would keep Ten Hag. I really was. I couldn't believe it. And everyone was going mental, bouncing around. We beat City, obviously. It was a joyous day. But I knew deep down that Manchester United had bigger problems and it would just come back again. It's exactly the same scenario. But this year, I think people are going to say, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. These players are not going to survive this, surely. They cannot be where they are in the league. Even if they win the Europa League, great, you've won a trophy, well done. You cannot cover that Premier League season up anymore. I'm sorry. 17 defeats is scandalous for Manchester United. And no matter what happens in the Europa League, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It counts in the fact that we've actually got away with it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing has been achieved because of the Premier League. That's your standard bearer right there. That's where United need to be looking at and judging the season on, not the trophy. And do you know what the difference is with Ruben Amorim to, say, for instance, Ten Hag? And all them people who love Ten Hag, get yourself ready so you can come back and criticise me again in the comments later. Oh, Adam's having a go at Ten Hag again. The difference with Ruben Amorim and Ten Hag is Ruben Amorim won't be calling this a title and look at the trophies that we've won. Ruben Amorim has already said that the final isn't even important for Manchester United. That's what he said. He said that this will be great and it gives us more money. It might not even do us good being in the Champions League next season. That's the manager there that actually realises where this team is at and what needs to happen. And we need to be brave in the summer. I think he's actually thinking, you know what, we could go on and win that final and we still need to be brave. I think this is what he's saying. It's not all about winning a trophy. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said it. They're egos for managers. Your progress is how far you move up in the league table. So when we're talking about that argument yesterday about who's had a better season, Arsenal or Manchester United, I think it was Paul Scholes who said I'd rather have Arsenal's season than Manchester United's season in winning the second-rate trophies. The only reason that this is so big right now, say for instance, if this was an FA Cup and not a Europa League, everybody will be looking at this completely differently. The Europa League gives us Champions League. That's the only reason this is important. The trophy is just another trophy. No one's getting carried away by winning the second-rate trophies anymore. United cannot keep doing this season in, season out. It's been covered up too much. Let's get some more comments in. Loads of people piling in. I don't trust them to reinvest money from sales in players, says Babs. Mark says the players will survive. They have legal binding contracts. Good luck getting rid. Well, this is where they need to be brave because they've got opportunities to get rid of players. Are they going to take less money for certain players because we've got into the Champions League? Are we going to cut that cloth according and get rid of players at cheaper prices and just take the hits? Stop trying to make so much profit. Are we going to be brave enough? That's what you've got to say. Are they going to take a little bit less for Marcus Rashford just to get him out of the door? Are they just going to break even and take 15 million for Casemiro and get him out the door? Are you going to accept that bid from Bruno Fernandes from the Saudi Pro League and say, look, sorry Bruno, we need to change this squad. We're calling this a business decision. Like, are you brave enough to make that decision? That's what we're looking at here right now. Because no matter how much I love Bruno, he's still part of this squad. And he is a great player. But every single player has to be held accountable for this season. And not one player is going to get away with it. Individual stats, right now, I will build them up and I will defend players when people are arguing against them. I will. Because I don't agree with what people are saying about Bruno Fernandes. I really don't. And everybody knows that. But when it comes to necessaries, when it comes to business, that's when I look at it differently. I look at it as an overall. And if you're looking to make a sacrifice, if you're looking to sacrifice players at Manchester United to make a big difference going forward, then sadly, and I say sadly, selling Bruno, selling Rashford, selling Garnacho, moving Rasmus Højlund on, making decisions like that are the only ones that people are going to stand up and notice. They're going to go, oh, now that's a big move. They're the ones. They're the big calls. And I don't know if this club has got it in them to do it, because Bruno is a quality player, and you're not going to replace Bruno Fernandes. He's irreplaceable. But you can change your team and a philosophy with Bruno Fernandes' money. That's the point we're trying to make with Bruno the other day. Are they brave enough to do that? I don't think. And it's easy for us to comment about this right now because Bruno had a stinker yesterday. But Bruno's probably going to play well in the last 3 games of the season. He may even win as the final, and everyone will be saying we cannot get rid of Bruno Fernandes. He's the reason why Manchester United are picking up this trophy. That all of them conversations will be going on again. And I said it, like Garnacho might have a stormer in the final, and people will say, like I just said earlier on, people will come out and say, look, told you, that's what Garnacho's got, he just needs time. No. Sorry. Premier League, 17th, 17 defeats. That's what you look at. That's your day-to-day. Because that's what people pay season tickets for. That's what people invest into this football club for. That's your bread and butter. The cups are a bonus. The cups are always a bonus. Manchester United's target should be top 4. That's a standard. Challenging for the title and top 4. That's what it used to be. These days now, God, we need to build up and get there. So United's target next season is top 6. If we don't finish in top 6 next season, there is a new manager the season after. Probably even before the season ends. That's what Manchester United standards are. And the bigger worry is like who is going to survive. Get rid of what you can this summer to make that massive difference. They're the big, not big signings and players coming in. It's who you can get rid of. It's always going to come down to who leaves. I hope Amorim goes. Even if we improve, this isn't the style of football I want to watch. Boring, slow and dull. Well, he said it himself, mate. He doesn't want us to play that way. It's the players. They just haven't got the bravery in them. They are gutless when it comes to turning out when it doesn't matter. And it's Ruben said it. It's like, how have we got to a point where it doesn't matter in a Premier League game anymore? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think Ruben gets it, and I think this is why Ruben will fail ultimately, because there's no manager that can get away with this type of form at Manchester United. It's not going to happen. It won't happen at Real Madrid. It won't happen at Bayern Munich, Barcelona. These big clubs won't stand for this. They won't stand for it. Ruben is only in the job right now because he's Ineos' boy. Otherwise, he'd have gone, I think, in previous regimes. I really do. I really do think it would be gone. But I still back him. I still think he needs this window. And if Ineos don't do what's necessary and make drastic changes this summer, Ruben Amorim will be gone next season anyway. And you can all start talking, all the Ruben haters who don't think he's good enough, can all start talking about the next manager. Who's that going to be? Who's that going to be? Good luck trying to get something out of these players again. At least if Ruben can get rid of these players, he gets signings in and it doesn't work for him next season, you can say at least we've got rid of some of these players. Honestly, you've got to look at this. You've got to look at the likes of Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, players like this, Rashford, Antony, Sancho, all of these players that have just been around Manchester United over the last 5 years that were brought in that period, and that have failed. They need to be gone. All gone. Like Harry Maguire, clinging on to him, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I kind of do for the experience factor with him. And yesterday wasn't Harry Maguire's fault, obviously. Not all of it anyway. But again, he's just another player that has been there for so long, that turns up on big games, turns up and plays well. And consistently, Harry Maguire's not been bad the last 2 years. But again, we cannot be looking to build a team around Harry Maguire. It's not right. It isn't right. And you could say and argue the same with Bruno Fernandes, because where Bruno is doing well, everyone else is failing. So is that a problem? That's what they've got to decide at Manchester United, and that's what they've got to come to a decision on. What is the problem? How can we change it? What is the drastic change United can make this summer? It's getting rid of the so-called big players, big name players. Everybody who's out on loan has to be sold. That's your standard. Then you start moving on to players that are in the first team right now. Your Garnachos, your Rasmus Højlunds. The debate about Bruno Fernandes is going to carry on because of the bid from the Saudis. Casemiro, players like this. Then you're looking at the likes of Luke Shaw. You're looking at the likes of for instance, who else have we got in there right now? Like, there's a big question mark over Manuel Ugarte at the moment as well for me. Like, he is starting to stink the place out a little bit, unfortunately. And good moments, bad moments, consistency is not there. It's non-existent. Bruno will be here 7 years next season. He'll be here 7 years next season. Gone backwards with him as captain. We can't label others with time and not Bruno. He's the same. He's in the same boat. Look, Bruno, again, like, I'll argue Bruno individually. We haven't gone backwards with Bruno Fernandes as captain. I don't think it's necessarily a Bruno Fernandes captain issue. It's a whole club culture mentality problem that is the issue at Manchester United. That's what we're looking at, I think, more than anything. It's been a mad one, hasn't it? God, what a morning. Everyone, I don't think I've managed to get anywhere near as many chats as I wanted to get in there, but we are at the end of the show. Thank you, everybody who donated, super chatted, new members, anyone who is a new subscriber. Please, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I haven't asked you once throughout the whole video to like the video at all. I've just let you do it on your own. If you did enjoy the content, everybody, please do stick a like on the video before you leave. Thank you, everybody involved in the show. Your comments have been brilliant. All I want you to do right now is just drop a comment into the comment section after this video is finished. Let me know your thoughts on everything we've discussed. Ruben Amorim's comments and that defeatist sort of attitude that was coming out from that press conference yesterday, that's what's worrying me. And I think from what I've seen on social media and people who've contacted me is exactly the same. It's that worry that Manchester United have given up. Have we given up? Talk to me in the comment section, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the show, everyone. Absolute legends, a lot of you. I will be back throughout the day with any updates, as always. Back later on this evening as well. I'll stay tuned to the community posts as well. I'll let you know what's happening throughout. And yeah, we move on. Bad day for United yesterday. Really, really bad day. And it's hit harder than any other before this one. It really has. Thank you, everyone, for being part of the show. Love you all. Put your comments in. Give the video a like. Subscribe to Forever United TV. I'll see you all later on. Have a great day, people.